I want to assemble a task force of the most dangerous people on the planet. They're bad guys. Worst of the worst.
I should kill everyone and escape? Sorry. The voices. I'm kidding. That's not what they really said.
This is the deal. You're going somewhere very bad.
Whoa!
To do something that'll get you killed.
Let's go save the world.
Seriously, what the hell's wrong with you people?
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
9 billion names of pod.
From Atlanta,
And you thought your girlfriend had issues.
it's the 9 Billion Names of Pod with Dan Bauman and Michael Reed. I'm Dan Bauman.
I'm trapped in this fucking sword.
So, let's talk about some stuff.
My wit is razor sharp and ready to execute.
Well, if you haven't figured out, yeah, we finally got to see Suicide Squad.
I mean, finally, it had only been open for like 2 days when we saw it.
Yeah, but I mean, we've been talking about it for a year and a half
yeah,
since the trailers came
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I haven't read any of the Suicide Squad per se comics. Okay,
Neither have I.
I have one of the animated movies called Assault on Arkham, which is it's the same thing. It's Deadshot, Harley, Croc, and a couple of different other characters, and so that actual team up book I'm not familiar with, but I'm familiar with every character in there, and most of them are actual Batman villains. Mm-hmm. Harley, obviously, Deadshot is a Batman guy, Croc is a Batman guy. So I know these characters, pretty well, and I've been waiting for this for a long time. But you, sir,
Yes.
you, sir, are not a comic reader.
I am not.
You're a film person,
Right. Not out, and if you've just joined the podcast and haven't been listening previously, my lack of comic experience is not out of, I don't do the comics. It's more like, I can't ingest
everything.
books and movies and TV. If I had comics, I swear to God, my head would explode. I can't even. I'm behind like 300 episodes of This American Life, and I will goddamn finish them all before I die.
Yeah, I mean, I've hit you up to a couple of books that you had to read, Watchmen and such.
Yes.
The seminal important ones. But I don't read every book that comes out by a long shot. I mean, I read every once in a while and stuff that a friend of a buddy of mine sends me. As a comic fan, my interpretation or my reaction to the film is there were I think four spoiler alert, by the way. We're not going to dance around. We're going to just talk about the movie.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We usually make sure to give you a spoiler alert if we're within usually 2 weeks, but really 30 days of a release date. And considering we're less than a week.
Not a weekend, yeah. It opened technically Thursday.
Major spoiler.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it this weekend,
right.
Stop now, catch us next week.
But if you have absolutely no interest in ever seeing it, why are you listening to this podcast?
Yeah, you're in the wrong
But hey,
place.
it may be something. I mean, not every nerd likes everything that is quote-unquote nerdy. So perhaps some of our listeners are absolute Marvel people, and this is a waste of their fucking time.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And you know what? I think there's an argument that could be made for that, although DC is stepping slowly up. But continue on.
Well, basically, that was what I was going to say. My reaction to the film was there were, I think, 4 moments in the film that made me gasp, which is a good sign.
Okay.
And I was like, I can't believe they did that.
Now, gasp in that, wow, that was awesome, or I knew that they did this in the comic and they did it on screen and it was awesome.
That they did it. That they did it. The whole, they do in the film, they do pretty much little origin stories of every character, which evidently you're not a fan of.
It was the first 20 minutes of the film is like reading a goddamn dossier.
Yeah.
And for this particular film and this style of film, I want to say it works. You can't go back and do very creative flashbacks and integrate it into the film and keep. I get that. It's just not my favorite kind of storytelling.
Okay.
Where it's, here's our characters and here's a page on every one of them. Okay, now we're starting the story. And like, really? That just screams to me of laziness. But I
don't disagree. Yeah.
It also allows you to go, all right, we're getting to the heart of this motherfucker. Boom, boom, boom. Here's some shit they did. Oh my God. And we move on.
Yeah. And
of course, we could tell who were the, shall we say, more featured members of the squad, because they're
much longer.
Their dossier was about, 5 to 7 minutes, where there's a couple where it's like, 30 seconds. He's very bad.
Yeah.
And he has a boomerang. And
yep.
He robbed some banks. And we're done.
Yep.
Yeah, we get nothing.
Nothing.
I'm like, okay, that's why I kind of subtitle Suicide Squad the Harley and Deadshot show.
Yeah, well,
because,
obviously, yeah.
Well, you got Will Smith and you got, her.
Yeah, Margot. Yeah, we'll get to her and him. That was, I think, the one thing that really kind of not shook me, but I was literally the very, very beginning of the movie, I was taken aback because it was like Belle Reve prison, and there's Harley. It was like bam, bam. They're in prison. There was no lead up. It was just you're in it. And that took me aback.
It's possible that whoever who's running the show, who's the Feige of DC?
Jeff Johns, but this was made pre his takeover, so he's still in the process of.
It's possible that his vision goes backwards and forwards in time. He has arcs within arcs. I mean, who knows? So
well, the thing is, it didn't start out as his vision, so he's got to kind of retrofit what's already happened.
Right. When you walk in the middle of, let's say, an arc, you have to incorporate that into your new vision as best as possible. So,
well, the problem was, okay, this is now we're going the whole politics of it. When DC started their movie universe, they were adamant. It was like, we're not going to be like Marvel. We're not, because that's the universal, like, we're going to fight. We're not going to. We're
not going to be successful and have franchises.
Well, we can't do what they do. And their whole thing was we're going to have artists, directors come in and make their own thing and not make it a big tied-in thing. And it's just not going to work in this climate. I
mean, that's a way to go. It's not.
It's just not going to make cohesive.
Yeah, it's not as satisfying.
And Marvel's made $50 billion doing it the other way, and if you got to take their model, do it. It's the only way it's going to work.
Well, I mean, let's face it, DC and Marvel have been stealing back and forth from each other
since the beginning, for 75 years.
So
ish.
Why not? Okay, all right, fair enough.
But the moments that
what
really
are the moments that made you go, what?
I love all the Affleck stuff. I love the Batman showing up and confronting Deadshot. And I mean, I know you probably thought it was cheesy, but the not in front of your daughter thing was very important.
No. I mean, it was a kind of a, all right, just, all right, I see motivation.
Well, and think about it. He's, who's his kid, Bruce Wayne doesn't want this kid to be scarred like he was, in a way.
I get not in front of your kid.
Not in front of your kid.
Yeah.
I liked him diving into the water after the Joker's car crashes in the water. That was perfect. I mean, that's exactly what he would do.
And punching the fuck out of Harley.
Yeah, she'll get. He does take it easier on the ladies, but if she's out of control, he's going to knock her out just to take control.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
The other was, I had heard rumors, but I wasn't positive in what capacity the Flash was going to show up, and his cameo, the Captain Boomerang, which Captain Boomerang is a Flash villain.
Okay,
that in the continuity, that's where he, he's one of his rogues gallery. It was great. It was so great that I missed everything that he said, so I didn't hear his quip at all because I went and then it was over. But the thing that got me the most, and this is so strange, they, in Harley's backstory, okay, which I was really nervous about because from the trailers it looked not, because Harley was created for the animated series. She just started out as the Joker's hench girl, and everyone was like, she's pretty cool. And then they started giving her thing.
Right.
And Paul Dini, who created her, wrote a comic called Mad Love, which was her backstory.
By the way, Paul Dini has been quoted as saying Margot Robbie nailed it.
Yeah. Yes, and he's the guy. He created her.
Yeah, that's all the praise you need.
That's it.
Everyone else can suck a dick,
Yeah.
because if the creator says you're on, then you're on.
Yes, and my ultimate dream would be for her and him to collaborate on the Harley movie. Let him write it, let her EP it. I mean, it would be amazing.
Okay.
And just dream casting. Let Jessica Chastain be Poison Ivy. Perfect. Girls' night out, like running away and running around. Either chasing, because they did that a lot in the cartoons, and they did a bunch of comics where it was Harley and Ivy running around and Batgirl like chasing them.
Or maybe Bryce Dallas Howard.
She'd
Maybe,
be pretty good.
maybe.
Yeah.
Not Amy Adams, although she's already been in that universe, so she's out anyway.
Yeah.
Isn't she Lois Lane?
Oh, she's Lois Lane. She
Yeah.
couldn't. Yeah, she
Yeah.
couldn't. But she's not right for it. She's not right for it.
And not the girl from Castle.
Girl. No,
I can't remember what her Molly something.
The daughter.
The daughter.
Yeah, she's too
Way
young.
too young.
Way too young. It's funny. There was a magazine article I read one time that it was Kristen Bell, and they asked her, what's your dream role? She's like, oh, I'd love to play Harley Quinn in a movie. And this is like 5 years ago, and I was like, oh, she would be great. But Margot Robbie just crushed it. But going back to the origin story, in comics they will totally reboot the universe every now and again.
Of course.
They do it perpetually. And I want to say 3-4 years ago, they did what they called the New 52, which was starting from zero and changing everything up except for key things, blah, blah, blah. And they kind of changed Harley's origin story a little bit. And in this, it looked like kind of a blend of the two. And my one problem with it, and my one the thing that it made me glad about, was it in Mad Love, the Joker doesn't do anything at all to her except talk to her and pushes her over the edge mentally. He just gets in her head, and that's what he does. To a degree, they did that. He did the electroshock therapy, and that was like, okay, that was the one.
I'm just going to hurt you really, really bad.
And I was like, no, but the thing that made me concerned was in the trailer, you see her fall into the vat of whatever it is.
We'll get back to that because I have issues.
Okay. Well, what issues do you have?
Well, first of all, she's in the tower. When they're going up to rescue Waller, looks down and sees something. Vats of what the fuck is that? Why is it?
I agree.
I mean,
yeah.
What is down there? Don't even explain what the fuck it is because it's not the. So okay, it just reminds her. Why couldn't it have been fountains down there that made her think, oh, that looks like, and they can blend.
Oh, so you're okay. That's okay. I get
like
your kind of.
What is down there?
Yeah.
Because why does
that
it
was
look...
pretty dumb and convenient?
Yeah, it's just
and
like...
there is a bunch of that in this movie.
Exactly.
There's a lot of dumb and convenient.
But then okay, they go back to when it actually happened. Will you live for me? Will you die for me? Backflip into the what?
Well, it was chemicals. It was Ace Chemicals.
Right. Chemicals of what?
I think it was supposed to represent or be the same chemicals that he fell into.
Yeah, but see, I'm thinking chemistry while he's diving in there. Is it eating away the corneas of his eye? I know I'm getting a little too literal.
Yeah. Well, no, we could debate that forever. Like he's already immune, and his skin and blah blah. That's why it's white and green and blah.
Oh, that's
blah.
right. Because once you dive into a vat of chemicals, you're forever immune
Exactly.
from those chemicals.
Of course, that's how
Great.
it works. The thing that made me happy about that scene, she jumped in of her own accord.
He didn't push her.
He
didn't shoot her and
didn't
make
shoot
her fall. Right.
She had agency in that moment and said, "Okay, I love you, and I'm going to do this." And that made me very, very, very happy.
Yeah, because I don't know nearly enough about Harley, probably nowhere near as much as you do or other people. But if she was just some dumb bimbo that looked hot, was violent, and did what the Joker said. I mean, not everything has to be a feminist manifesto, but I would have been personally disappointed.
Right. Well, she wouldn't have been a character then.
She would just.
And that's why people like her, because even in the cartoon,
does she ever give the Joker some shit?
Yeah,
good,
a lot.
Good. She didn't give him much shit in this at all. But then again, they weren't together very much. In this, so.
And she all she ever tries to do is please him. Actually, later on in the animated series, she fucks off. She doesn't deal with him anymore. Like, she runs away, and that's why her and Ivy are running around, because she gets tired of his shit. And it's an abusive relationship. She goes back and forth, but I love him, but this and that, but the moment that made me insanely happy
in the film.
Okay. Which I had heard rumors, I heard bits and pieces, but you may not have caught it. There was a minute in a moment in her backstory where they showed her in the Harlequin costume.
Well, she wasn't in it. She was pulling.
No, there was a shot.
Really?
She was in the Harlequin.
Because I remember when
this moment. I'm showing him a picture that I will post. This moment came up, and I lost my shit, because I have seen this painting for years. There's a painting of the Joker in a tuxedo and her in the full-on Harley Quinn outfit.
Because when they gave them all their cases and they were pulling out their stuff, she could have worn the Harley Quinn outfit because it was in there. But she went for the Daddy's Little Monster Puddin outfit, which was a much better choice because...
that would not have worked quite
have worked quite as well. I mean, I'm glad they made her sexy without being like the TNA show.
Yeah.
I mean, it was sexy but not... exploitive.
Yes. I mean, some disagree with that. Some think it was over-sexualized, but...
Well, the only thing that was, those booty shorts, I mean, if they were any further up her ass, it'd be like a colonoscopy. But I had no complaints with that.
Right.
I've said on record, I don't find Margot Robbie particularly attractive.
You find Harley Quinn
but
insanely.
My God, when she's dressed as Harley Quinn, I am... I'll be her little puddin'.
And here's the thing. She did a pretty phenomenal job. I mean, as she nailed the character.
And the New York came out a lot.
She was...
She struggled
a little bit.
There was one or two slips. I'm going, oh, have you been hanging out with Boomerang?
Right. And there was a couple of moments where she did nail it perfectly, because Harley was created by Arlene Sorkin, an actress who ended up doing voice actor stuff, and for some reason she made it from Brooklyn, and that's how she talks, and Mr. J and Puddin and all that. And Margot tried really hard.
She drifts in and out of it. When she gets animated, she slips a little more back to back to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But when she's regularly talking, it's a little flatter.
Yeah.
So which can lend itself. I'm crazy. I'm here. I'm there. There's 1,000 voices in my head, and I'm like.
This is not a complaint. This is just an observation.
It's certainly
she came real close.
It's certainly no Kevin Costner and Robin Hood. No, it's nothing.
Oh, that's the gold standard of awful accents.
No, that's the tin standard.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what that is. So that's So that's definitely a thumbs up on Harley.
Yeah.
Let's address the Joker in the room.
Okay. What did you think of Leto's Joker?
Again, having not seen any interpretation of the Joker outside of the Christian Bale / Jack Nicholson / Cesar Romero from the Batman, so my experience with the Joker is very limited.
Right. Well, there haven't been many others.
Well, I'm sure the animated has some.
Well, Mark Hamill is the animated, and he's the gold standard.
He's the gold standard.
He is the Joker.
Having never experienced that, so I'm not quite. I found it a little overacting and just. I didn't see beneath the grease paint, really. Yeah. It would just seem very two-dimensional. I don't want to say I hated it. Because I didn't have like a visceral like fuck this guy reaction.
Yeah.
I still call him Meth Joker.
Yeah.
If for no other reason, because Ledger is definitely Stoner Joker.
And just crazy anarchist Joker. Yeah.
Right, exactly. This guy was definitely more gangsta.
Yeah.
More, Flash, I mean, let's face it, Ledger is like, here, throw
burn
a
the
match
money.
on and burn the money. It's like, I'll shoot you if you try to put the money out.
Yeah.
This guy would be like, sure, more money, and let's do this.
Yes.
And
And that's a little truer to the character. Well,
Okay.
in certain, I don't know. I guess again, he's been around for 60 years, so they've been in and out. Have been different interpretations.
right, and that's fine. I mean, every actor needs to put their own stank on an
Yeah.
iconic character.
And they had
if
to-
every single Bond was the same, who would give a crap?
Right, and Heath Ledger was so iconic that they had to do something drastically different.
Oh, they couldn't even come anywhere.
No, they couldn't.
They couldn't. They had to go completely another
180,
direction.
completely different direction.
Exactly.
The issue I had with him, I thought he was really good. I thought he was terrifying. I thought he was really scary, but
Unpredictable.
But there wasn't enough funny crazy. There wasn't enough like, oh, he's not just a sociopath, he's insane. Like the only time you really saw it was when like Baron Holtz's guard with no name, asshole guard, when he kisses the ring and then he hops in his lap and he kisses him, the whole Bugs Bunny of it all.
Yeah.
There wasn't enough of that. That's where, and I think from what I understand, that's what Heath Ledger based his Joker on, was Bugs Bunny. That's why he talked that way, which makes a lot of sense.
Oh wow!
It really makes
that
a lot
does
of
make
sense.
a lot of sense.
Yeah, every time
and
I got these scars, that's why he was doing that accent.
Where's Harvey Dent? Damn it! I must have made a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
Yeah. So that was the one thing that he was missing.
Well, I think we know where those comedy punch-ups that the reshoots they went to. They all went to Harley and Deadshot.
Yeah. More to Deadshot.
I'd say 90% of them went to them. I'm sure there was a couple of others. It's kind of hard to determine. Well, it's impossible to determine what was originally funny and what was punched up funny.
There was a bunch of stuff from the very first trailer that did not make the cut. That if you watch it, I was like, oh, that line's not there. Okay, that line's not there. Which always happens. I mean, that happens a lot in editing.
I'm known to be very vexing, of course, but that made it all the way through to everything.
Yeah.
So that's. It's he didn't embarrass himself. If that Joker is to continue with his own film or as the prime villain of a standalone Batman, I'd like to see a shitload more development of that character.
Yeah,
because maybe in the time allotted, he could only bring out the 2D.
Yeah,
there wasn't enough, because this is not a Joker film. It's not even. That's barely the B story. Well, I guess it is the
It's the B story.
It is the B story. I mean, but
it's just that Joker, the one, and this is before anybody saw any footage. The one complaint I read, which made a lot of sense, was I don't see that Joker outwitting that Batman, and that's kind of the thing. Batman and Joker, like he regularly foils Batman, and he's gets in and out of Arkham, and this guy Batman can jump in and beat the crap out of him and throw him.
Right. I really like when he came in with the SWAT suit and the name said right on the front, Joker.
Yeah.
I'm like,
that was great.
I mean, that's like Castle with his thing that says writer on it. I'm like,
he's not gonna hide at all.
Because you got to. Well, I mean, let's go behind the scenes here. He actually had to order those outfits
have that made,
or get those, and like everyone else can have whatever. It was like, all right, I need you to do custom work.
Yes,
I mean,
put my name on it.
Yeah. So
that's all his thought
I'm like,
process.
Who's the Joker's Lucius Fox? Like, I need this and this. And
Yeah,
I need to get that
they
done.
never get into that in the comics.
Well, he probably employs a motley crew of
course.
God knows who and
Well,
what.
that's the thing, and he had a lot of money in this one, and that's a Joker thing. He did.
Well, Purple Lamborghini.
Yeah, Purple Lamborghini, and
One of the worst fucking songs on that goddamn soundtrack. Good God, what a waste of. I've said it before and I'll say it again. By and large, dubstep sounds like a Cylon with explosive diarrhea.
it sounds like polka. It all sounds the same to me. I like it for what it is, but
Some of it is very genius.
right. But if you listen
by and
to
large,
if you listen to it for more than 20 minutes, you've been there. Boom! Oh, the drop.
how many times can you drop the bass?
Yeah, and it's cool, but is that a genre? But we're on a whole.
Also, once again, please get off our lawn.
Yeah, exactly.
Back in my day, we had the Nirvana and the 9 Inch Nails, and we liked it. So, continuing on, what do we think of the Deadshot?
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
he was the funniest in there, but not so much to where you went, Will, this is not your fucking film.
Right.
Dial it down. It was like, okay, all right. Not a hugger. Just okay.
Yeah, I mean, they were like, we've got Will Smith. Let's use him. Let's give him a little levity.
Well, he was doing his Will Smith note.
Yes, but very subdued.
Right. Well,
Very
no,
more subdued
it was full Will Smith, but not the whoo ha, not that Will Smith.
Yeah, you're right.
Subdued in that, but it wasn't the focal point of every damn scene.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it was the focal point of many scenes.
Many scenes, yeah.
But
it worked.
When you got an A-list talent that you're probably paying $20 million to, you want to get your money's worth.
Exactly.
And
like I said, it's Will Smith. He can do comedy. He can pull it off.
Right. I mean, let me think. There's no other A-listers in that film at all. I mean, Margot Robbie maybe
film A-list.
approaching.
I mean, Viola Davis is pretty. She's pretty up there.
Oh yeah, I forgot about.
Yeah, she's an Academy Award winner.
God, she's hard. She's hardcore. Yeah, you know what? So is Marissa Tomei. So let's just keep,
Well, yes.
Academy Awards in perspective. It's not
but
like
Viola Davis earned her.
Oh no shit! Oh no shade on Viola Davis at all.
Right.
But she was a boy.
She was a pretty fantastic Waller. I mean, pretty fantastic.
I mean, the hardcore military guys like Crunch, you're free to go, and she's like, "Fuck no, you're not free to go."
No.
And I'm like, "Bitch, they just saved the goddamn universe."
Oh no, they are still her property. She does not fuck around.
Well, otherwise, Suicide Squad 2 wouldn't happen.
Right.
It's like, and you're free to go. Oh shit, the franchise and credits.
Yeah, well, but the thing about that is, what's cool is, I know some of the books, they have different characters. It's not just those guys.
Right, they can interchange them in and out.
And bring them out. I mean, you're going to have your Harley and your Deadshot, but I mean, you don't have to have Boomerang and Diablo. Well, you can't have Diablo.
I really like Diablo's character.
He was a really good character.
They gave him a little more backstory than you would think.
Yeah.
And his non-aggression pact with himself
was very cool.
And they actually gave you enough backstory, just enough. I mean, just the bare minimum enough to justify where you're like, I'm with you, SA.
Yeah.
So I liked him. What was it? Was it Slipknot?
Well, here's the thing about Slipknot. Again, we're deep in it, but spoilers.
What? I get to be in a big superhero film. Awesome. Playing Slipknot. Awesome. So, what? Oh,
I watched the trailers and I was like,
he's not in any.
He's in the beginning, and he's in all the promo material. He's not in the. Oh,
he's the red shirt. He's the one that
he's
they
the example.
He's the demonstration.
The exact same thing happened in that animated one. It was like they had 9 characters, or they had 8 characters, and only 7 of them made it because one of them was like, "I don't believe you!" Kablam! They blew his head off. I was like, okay, so it's going to be him. So I saw that coming 6 months ago.
One of the scenes that seemed a little action breaky, stop the bar scene. Mm-hmm. The third act. Not even third act complication, the third act revelation.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good conversation and all. All of a sudden you got action-packed film, and then it becomes, My Drinks with Andre.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, we're humanizing them a bit. We're getting a little more story on them, and it served a purpose, but it basically broke the line they were drawing through most of the film.
Right.
Which, I mean, let's face it, one of my biggest disappointments with Suicide Squad is that I wanted them to go absolutely fucking outside the box and just go crazy. And it was pretty a rote story.
Yeah.
It was not, not that exciting in that, oh my God, they did this. Yeah. And, it was like, rescue her, fate the bad guy.
Well, that's the thing. I want to get back to the bar scene that was my one complaint. That's my one complaint about every one of these big blockbuster superhero movies. The third act of the movie is the heroes fighting a big special effect. in every single one of them. And I'm like, I'm tired of that. Do something different. That's why Deadpool was so great, because that's really not what it was at all.
I have to say, of superhero films, for me, ones that I put up there with have to own the Blu-ray and will watch repeatedly, it's really only Guardians and Deadpool. Yeah. I mean, other ones are fine. I don't regret having seen them, but it's not like, wow, when is it coming out? Yeah. I have to see it. I have to see it over and over again and pick it apart. I just don't care. Now, that's just me. You know, cancel my nerd credentials, but no, I mean,
that's valid.
I mean, you know, Deadpool and Guardians. Well, I guess if we're going to go throughout the entire history, I would, of course, add in The Dark Knight, obviously.
Yes.
That film's a masterpiece.
Yeah, that's that's a great film.
That's just good filmmaking, good storytelling, everything arcs nicely. But yeah, I mean, this film, I wouldn't mind seeing it again.
Yeah, I definitely am going to see it again.
Just to try to absorb. Now, not in the theater. I'm not going to give it another theater shot. But I'll rent it. I'll rent it. You know, and of course, you'll
borrow my Blu-ray.
Blu-ray. You'll get the Blu-ray. See if there's any extra. Harley
if there
footage.
is. Well, if they put any of the extra footage back in or something, you know, I'll definitely.
Well,
pick it up.
Usually on the Blu-rays they go different ways. Usually there's a director's cut, or they add, you know, as bonus scenes.
Yeah, usually they're worthless. You know, they were cut out for a reason.
9 times out of 10, you're like, thank you for leaving that out. That would have wasted time, and that would have, there's certain scenes where, like, of themselves, wow, that was great. I don't know where you would have put that.
Yeah.
Because it would have slowed down the action or been completely inconsequential within the linear, you know, the storytelling of the film. So,
well, I have not yet watched the 3-hour cut of Batman v Superman. I'm going to, because I want to see it. I want to see. I
will see it too.
I want to see what. Again, you can watch my Blu-ray. I want to see it. See what they cut out, because
it's like picking on a scab, though. It's just like, really, do I really want to open that back up again?
I'll watch it. I'll let you know what I think. But
all right.
But getting back to the bar scene,
if I mentioned Zack Snyder sucks.
The bar scene. I read one review. I think it was Harry Knowles on ASCN, and he said that should have been the opening of the movie.
What was?
The bar scene. Them in the bar. That should have been the beginning of the movie. Like them all beat up and wet and drinking and like. See, that would have been a great opening.
See,
that's
See, exactly.
Yeah, that's storytelling.
There's certain kind. I mean, not every film has to be Tarantino, where you're going through 17 dimensions of chess with, you know, it has to be Pulp Fiction or what was it, Memento, where it's told back. You know, just, you know, American audiences are both really fucking stupid and really intelligent at the same time. Just depends on what what crowd you have in there.
Yeah,
we can handle non-linear storytelling. You know, that reminds me of the time 20 hours ago when we were put on the tarmac down at Edwards and told that we were, you know, something like that. That's a good point there.
It's a good point. And I was like, I could see that.
I need to check the credentials of, I think it was 2 people who wrote this script, or at least named, obviously.
Yeah.
In some of these big films, there could be easily 20 people, but only a couple get credited.
Yes, the first 2 writers.
I have a couple of friends in LA that they've quietly told me, because they trust me, some of the stuff they've worked on, like, oh, really? And like, yes, I got a big check, and I don't get any credit whatsoever.
Right.
I'm like, okay.
Well, Tom Lennon and Ben Garant from The State, and they wrote a book called Writing Hollywood Movies for Fun and Profit, and fun and end are crossed out. and I heard an interview with him, and he basically sat down with Mark Maron and sat down and he's like, this is how Hollywood works. He goes, Mark, I love you. You're great. Tell me your idea. And Mark made up something, and he said, oh, that's a great idea. We'll run with it. And what about this? And but can we change this? Well, then no, you're fired. We're gonna, and he fired and hired him like 6 or 7 times.
Yep, that's about it. So now, but what if the hero was a talking dog?
Exactly.
It's like,
throw in something.
Oh my God, this is a fucking sequel to The Killing Fields.
Right.
There is no talking dog in a sequel to The Killing waiting, you know. What about Schindler's Wrist? He survives the war and
he's
plays
a yo-yo
tennis.
champion.
Or, yeah, exactly. It's just like, oh God. Well, there's a meme that went around. I am a member of a number of these writers' pages on Facebook, and it says something along the lines of, whenever you're sitting there working on a story and you think that it's just outlandish and stupid and you want to stop, just remember somebody had to write Sharknado.
Yeah, no, this
was an idea that was pitched
Yeah.
and accepted. So
someone threw the idea out of what if we do a tornado full of sharks
Yeah.
or something.
He's like, let's run with that.
Exactly.
So nothing quite that well, I mean, in the realm of superhero films, nothing that stupid, outlandish, and Suicide Squad. I mean,
No, not really.
Enchanted Witch and the whole bit, and okay. But I really liked how June Moon changed into
That was some scary, creepy shit. That was really good.
That was pretty good.
What'd you think of her? What do you think of Cara Delevingne?
Liked.
Yeah.
You didn't really get to know much about either of them.
True.
I mean, that's one of the problems I have when you try to pack too much shit without having their own standalone film.
Or just more story, you know?
Yeah, well, unfortunately, to be able to tell everyone's individual story and then have the group come together, you're looking at, like a 3-hour film.
Yeah.
And that's...
And then you get Batman, Superman.
Right, exactly.
I will say, just touching back on the bar scene for one literally my favorite moment in the movie is in the bar scene.
Okay.
Literally. Laughed out loud. They're all beat up.
Has something to do with Harley, doesn't it?
Nope.
No, really?
Nope.
All right, nailed.
Nope.
Okay.
Rick Flag, who we'll get to, comes in, basically breaks the remote for the bombs in their head, says, "You're free to go." Captain Boomerang grabs his beer and runs, and you hear the door open, doesn't pause, doesn't take a beat, doesn't say a word, grabs his shit and goes. I laughed out loud. I was like, that is absolutely perfect.
It's not like, come on, we've got to... Nope, bye.
No, gone. Didn't hesitate for 1 second. Out the door, gone.
Yeah, that was good.
He's a particularly... I thought he was really good. I thought he was really funny. They didn't do enough with him.
No.
He's a particularly low-rent villain as it is, Captain Boomerang.
Well, he's not a metahuman.
Not really.
I mean, apparently he has some super Lucius Fox on his team with his super camera boomerangs, which boomerangs have to continue to circle to be able to move.
Don't
the
go
camera,
down that road.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I know.
Yeah,
it's like, so Michael, let me get this. You believe in an enchantress doing a thing, but the problem with the boomerang having a steady film shot of what's in, that's your problem.
See, by the way, I completely agree with you on that. I am like, there are levels of suspension that I completely, I can, I'm fine with the Mutant Ninja Turtles, but you can't do that with a microscope. I'm totally agree with you on that.
Yeah. In part, sometimes you just got to go,
it's coming.
All right, apparently, maybe there's a gyroscope within the boomerang that gives you a steady shot. It's like a steady cam.
Yeah.
In that case, why is this boomerang not 42 pounds and not even Killer Croc could fucking launch it because it's just,
Right.
Just, okay, but that's
Yep.
Now, out of the Suicide Squad, let's talk standalone film. Okay. Harley, fuck yeah,
done. Yeah.
You could almost have a standalone Batman that takes care of Harley and Joker. That might be a bit too much, but you got to get some Harley Joker. I mean, I don't want just a Harley only film. Because without the Joker, she's not Harley.
And that's not true. Like I said, you have the
what he does. Well, I guess once you're past the origin story, then I guess she can be off on her own.
Rumor has it that Margot is developing a Harley movie on her own
with Poison Ivy,
with Poison Ivy and Batgirl and all maybe Zatanna, all the female characters.
Didn't we already see that on the CW and it failed? Was it Birds of Prey?
It was Birds of Prey.
And it totally bombed and nobody liked it?
It didn't go very far. It wasn't bad. I watched it.
You know what that show needed?
What?
Fish Mooney.
No. Yeah, Fish Mooney is not a thing.
No. But Harley, standalone in
sure.
whatever. Joker,
I think
obviously.
What I think is going to happen is I think you're going to get a Batman Joker film and Harley will cameo and Harley will make an appearance. And I think that's fine. Or a Batman Harley Joker movie. That would be great.
Okay, yeah.
Go toe-to-toe and great. But carry on.
Deadshot, definitely own film.
Own film, if not another separate Batman film. Because, again, like I said, he is a Batman villain. But have him be the hitman, have him be the bad guy.
I like that when he got his gun shooting. Like, oh my God, he missed every shot. Oh, he had every single shot in the same spot.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes,
like
yes.
And there's enough there with the wife and the kid and the whole bit.
He is a
it's-
good character. Floyd
Right.
is a really good character.
So I like him. I don't know about Killer Croc.
He's a Batman villain. I don't know.
But not standalone like Joker versus Batman. And this standalone Batman will be Croc versus no.
No.
He needs to be part of a team. Boomerang definitely does. Just I don't see. Well, you know what? Unless they take it in another direction to where him robbing the banks and the diamond vaults in Australia, there's an angle that could be played there. Not really as a superhero film. It's more like a crime spree film.
What will happen? He'll show up in the Flash movie. Probably that's his thing. Like he'll get caught by the Flash because that's his villain. Yeah.
I want to see. If not, I don't know if Katana. I don't know about a standalone film. Either part of the Harley Girl Power film, or much of an expanded backstory in Suicide 2.
Yeah,
because
she got kind of shorted on the whole deal.
She did. Well, when you have so many people, you can't give. That was one of my main problems with Batman v Superman. They try to cram too much shit in at the expense of other stuff.
Right.
So, and that's why I kind of would have rather have seen the Batman Harley Joker film prior to Suicide Squad, so that we're more invested in these characters. Because let's face it, aside from Batman and the cameo for a hot millisecond by the Flash, we don't know any of these people.
Right.
They've not done it. They didn't go the Marvel route by launching the Deadshot film, or maybe Croc and Boomerang and Slipknot, hang out together. Maybe they have a film or something.
Right. They
just all right, we're going to take a whole bunch of characters, throw them together, and let's see what happens. Now, that is not a recipe for disaster. Hello, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
But the one thing that made Guardians a masterpiece?
What?
Say it with me now. The writing.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And the writing was okay-ish on this one. It wasn't horrible. There wasn't any. Well, there wasn't too many cringe moments. Like, oh,
there was one line of dialogue that I thought was terrible. Everything else was.
What was that?
It was Deadshot, and when they were fighting the big evil at the end,
the brother
or whatever.
Yeah, the unnamed brother. We don't get a name.
Yeah. I swear I remember this. He pointed at him and said, "You're just evil," or something like that. I was like, "What a terrible line of dialogue."
I was like, "Oh, you're just evil."
Yeah, just something like that. He yelled, "You're straight up evil, lady," or something like that. I was like, "Oh, that's."
And all of a sudden, the brother goes, "Oh, I've been cut to the quick!"
Right? How dare you? Yeah.
Yes, exactly. I thought Flag was a decent character. Not that he deserves his own film or anything, but I like to see him pop up.
He was good.
Do you know where he cut his teeth as far as being in the public consciousness and knowing about? I can't remember the name of the actor, but the guy that plays Rick Flag, he was maybe he was doing drugs, maybe not. Detective that was the partner of the redhead chick on The Killing on AMC.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was like a wannabe gangsta his character was really kind of annoying.
I keep wanting to say Scott Eastwood, but I'm not sure if that's accurate.
Scott Eastwood is in the film,
Yeah.
but it's not him.
Okay.
He's in the. I can't remember. He's one of the other soldier guys.
Oh, okay.
So, but no, it's not him. He's he did a fine job, you
Right.
know. But if you had seen him in The Killing, the guy probably was about 110 pounds soaking wet. I couldn't imagine him even being able to carry his gear, you know, let alone be a badass Marine with,
Yep.
you know, 10,000 kills under his belt or whatever. But he pulled it off. He pulled it off okay.
Yeah, he was good. I mean, again, when you trying to write for like this the super good guy, they come off pretty bad, you know. Like writing for Superman is really hard because he's invincible, you know, and writing for the guy, you know, the villains are always way more interesting.
Right.
So, but I think he did a really good job. Like a good.
Yeah, he didn't embarrass himself.
Well, no, not at all.
did
But I mean, I
okay.
think he was likable and he was good.
And Viola Davis.
The Wall, man, she was
What a bitch.
Yeah, and that's
I mean, Amanda Waller, the bitch.
Yes, and
Love
that's,
Viola Davis.
That's kind of her deal. Like she
Yeah.
is no nonsense. She'll
Oh, I'm
fucking
sorry.
kill you.
Something just happened that you don't have clearance to know about. So guess what? Headshot. Boom, boom,
Yeah,
boom, boom, boom.
that's-
Like, motherfucker.
Yeah, she is not. She does not play around.
Anybody in this room going, nah, she'll be a softie in the end.
No.
Girls always are. Nope,
No.
sorry.
No.
Girls can be just as vicious as anybody.
Yeah, in the one of the animated series, I think it was Justice League, they were doing something and she was screwing people up and doing all this stuff, and finally the Justice League they fought and they finally like confront each other, and Batman's like, look, you know, you're not going to do that. We're going to keep in check and this and that. And
Well, that was the hidden scene in the credits. It's like
no, yeah,
but more along the lines of, let us you can keep your squad X, but just don't dispatch them.
Well, he was
got
basically in the
this.
cartoon. He was yelling at her, and she said something to the effect of, "I'll keep that under advisement, rich boy," and he was like, "Uh-oh," you know, she.
It's like, yeah, there's another dossier I have that I didn't give to you.
Yeah.
I know exactly who the fuck you are.
Right, and it didn't seem that way in the movie. It didn't seem like she
Oh,
knew.
of course. Maybe you shouldn't work so many nights.
Oh, yeah,
she
you're right.
knew.
Yeah, you're
She
right.
knows.
You're
and he
right.
just kind of like,
Yeah,
so, but let's face it, in the real world, I mean, we're already in a universe where, oh, he has glasses on. Hey, Clark, glasses are off. Oh my God, it's super. Oh, no,
Yeah.
he put his glasses back on. I guess it's Clark.
I don't know who he is
Yeah.
anymore.
Anybody who has the Bat Jet and the Bat all this other shit, it's like, unless he's pulling it out of another dimension,
Yeah,
you know, it's like there's not like one. It's not like Lucius Fox goes to the basement and tinkers together all by himself the Batmobile or
Right.
the Batarang or whatever the bat shit he comes up with this time. So, you know, who knows? Maybe we'll find out Lucius like, that's the perfect Batmobile. Thank you guys, and kills all them.
I don't
Probably
think so.
not though, because that would be kind of anti Bruce Wayne.
A little bit.
But I mean, you know, let's face it. In the real world, there's some things that you have to, you know, recognize.
Yeah, of course.
So
of course.
my suspension of disbelief goes pretty far.
Well, that was
for-
that great scene in the Dark Knight where the guy was like,
I've been looking at the spreadsheets.
I was looking at spreadsheets and I got, you know, here's the blueprints and, you know, I want $1 million. And he says, so you found out that your boss is you're what is it?
You think your boss is a psychotic vigilante, and your first instinct is to blackmail him?
Yeah,
Good luck with that.
Yeah, that was such a crazy. But it was like, yeah, it's about right.
Yeah. So yeah, there's always the level, you know, suspension of disbelief. You know, my thing is that if it can be done correctly with real world, you know, laws and principles, and it doesn't detract from the story, just do it that way.
Yeah.
You know, if you're panning the sky when the aliens show up, but the moon is in the wrong place, hey, you can make that correct.
Yeah.
You know, I know Neil deGrasse Tyson's looking at all that.
I agree. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And what's with running the credits over a starscape?
I didn't get that at all.
That really pissed me off.
because it didn't go anywhere.
It had nothing to do with nothing.
With
Like,
anything.
Why would you do that? Just
And-
make it a blank screen. Why stars?
Right. And they the credits, the credit previous, they were real cool, like real stylized.
I gotta say, and I noticed this, in the closing credits with the animation and the stuff like that, where they did different designs for each member. The pink, purple, and green, that was the motif in this film.
Yes.
The color scheme popped up in tiny little areas here and there, where I'm like, all right, someone has a cohesive art direction vibe on this film. And they're kissing it gently. They're not ramming it down your throat like purples and pinks and greens.
That kind of neon-y thing.
Exactly. That kind of like slick at some point, gauzy at the other point. The palette there was a consistent palette, and it wasn't that, dark, rainy bullshit all the time. Although we got a little bit of the dark and rainy. You gotta have it.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, like, it's like, is it gonna rain? God damn it. Every fucking time. It's just gotta rain a little bit.
Just gotta rain.
It's the end of the second act, and the rain starts, because that means in the third act, the rain will stop, and the kick-assery will begin. So, who have we left out?
Talked about Flag. We talked about June.
I want El Diablo to have his own film. I swear that could be a really fucking good film with a very strong Latino cast.
Yes, and that's something. That's something
he could carry a film.
Yeah,
there was enough gravitas there. I'm like, dude, you're not 2-dimensional. You're not even 3-dimensional. You're like going into 4th dimension.
Yeah, he was.
I liked
good.
him.
He was the big surprise of the movie, is how well that guy played him.
Yep. Did you think, he's all tatted up? Oh, he's gonna just, fire everybody.
USA. No, he was like,
and he wasn't a stare that. No, man, I don't even get down like that, man.
No, not at all.
He was like, if anything, everyone else was doing the stereotyping. He's like, don't stop.
Don't.
No, I'm not.
And
then at the end, where he turned into a fucking fire god. Holy shit! I just thought I thought he just spit fire out of his hands. He turned into the god of fire.
What if I lose control? It's like, wow, pretty freaking intense.
I like him. You wouldn't like me when I'm fiery,
right?
So I could definitely see a story there, or much more expand. Well, they've already touched on it in the first Suicide Squad. I really would like to see. He needs his own film.
Yeah,
he doesn't have to be a $175 million epic. They can shoot some of these on the cheap for 50 million.
Yeah,
and there are people that'll go see it. I'd go see it.
Yeah,
I think that's everybody. Yeah. Well, is Slipknot going to get his? Oh, there goes his head. Sorry, no film for you.
If they do before that,
he grapples. He
can climb anything. So really, that's
really
his thing.
We've got Spider-Man who does it without equipment. So
well, here's the thing about DC.
Yeah,
they've got some lame ass villains, like especially Batman. There are some wicked bad villains. Greg Berlanti, who does all the CW shows, Flash and Arrow and all that stuff, who Katana actually showed up on Arrow as well. I had no idea who she was. What?
I'm just remembering a certain promo picture you posted today. Next season, Superman is in Supergirl.
Yeah.
Is coming in Supergirl. I'm like, are we doing phrasing? Because I feel like we should be doing phrasing.
Yeah, I think somebody altered that. I think I found later that
I
somebody...
hope so.
I hope so.
I cannot...
You cannot be that dumb.
That's a level of just obtuseness. Just no.
It's obtuse and it's bad on many levels.
Oh, and they're related.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
they're cousins, but still.
Yeah. But Katana, she showed up on Arrow, and when she did, it was the end of last season. Yeah, end of the third season. And I was like, "Hey, they beat the movie. How did they get her?" Okay, I'm not gonna. They.
I like the concept of a sword that takes the souls of everyone it kills.
Yeah,
I dig that concept. I gotta say though, at the very end, he kills the Enchantress.
Mm-hmm.
Good decision. He made it, and then they fucking did the goddamn Hollywood thing.
Yeah.
Oh, look.
She's okay.
She's just under a bunch of latex.
Yeah.
And she's okay. Fuck that.
The thing I didn't understand...
Unless she's crucial to stuff in the future.
Maybe.
I just, you know, I
the
hate
thing I
that
didn't
kind
get-
of boring, just like, I don't like Hollywood endings.
I don't
want
either.
everybody to die, suffering, blind, and miserable, cut to the credits.
I don't want that necessarily.
I do.
But, no, I thought... Because what the hell was the whole vision thing that she showed him of her in the hospital? I thought that's where we were going. I thought that was a glimpse of the future of... She was going to end up in, she wasn't just going to pop out of the latex. I'm okay.
I thought that was a flashback to when she was first infested, for lack of a better term, with the Enchantress, and they grew close together. I thought that was a flashback rather than a flash forward.
Yeah, see, that's not a good scene because I got the opposite. So I didn't.
I may be completely wrong, but
that's the problem.
But I
agree. It was
as
like
soon as
a
he
little
killed her, I
hokey.
went, "Oh my god, he did it! He killed her." I mean, I could have accepted, I can't, and then Deadshot shoots her in the head or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
But he did it like, wow.
He said, "Do it." Yeah.
You don't have the balls.
Yeah.
Which, of course, really, Enchantress? You pick up that
Yeah,
lingo
that
back
was a little
6,000 years ago? Were
Yeah.
they talking about whatever? And I went, wow, I'm impressed. I'm like, oh, God. She's there. Don't come out of it. And then they
came out
did
of
it.
it, yeah.
And I'm just like, it's just... I know everyone loves a happy ending.
No.
Except for me.
Yeah.
I just, sometimes people need to fucking die.
I agree.
Someone with more consequence than Slipknot. I didn't give a flying fuck. I didn't even remember Slipknot's name until I looked up the cast list before
Yeah.
we recorded.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That was
It's only
his
in
name.
5 minutes of the movie, barely. It had 2 lines.
I mean, let's face it. I mean, she was the protagonist. I mean, yes, the brother did a bunch of shit, but based on what she did.
Yeah.
She's the one that propelled. She's the baddie of the film.
Yeah.
He was just, the kick-ass hench person that did her bidding.
Right.
She was the baddie of the film.
Which I did not see coming. I did not expect that. That's
No,
what
and I would have liked to have seen more consequences, at least physically, for Waller. How does she know where to target these places? And they show 1 millisecond of the tentacles as she's, suspended in fluid or whatever. Then all of a sudden at the end, she just walks out of nowhere like, where the fuck do you come from? I'm fine now, and everything's good, and I've got the controller, and it just wrapped up a little too neatly.
It did.
A little too...
But I will say that was a funny line. That Deadshot had was, "How the hell are you still alive?" It's like, that was really good.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like I said, the movie is not perfect by any stretch. There was a lot of good in it, and I think they may have panicked a little bit with the reshoots. And
They panicked because of Deadpool.
Yeah.
They saw what was
because of Deadpool and because of the reaction to Dawn of Justice as well, because it got so beat up by everybody, and Deadpool was such a huge perfect film that they just went crazy. And
Well, as of now, guess who's directing the Justice League film?
who? Oh, Zack, yeah, Snyder.
Now,
But
I'm hoping that shit gonna change and we're gonna get some Affleck on there.
well, here's the thing,
because
no, Affleck's going to do solo Batman films, but what I hear, the rumors are that yes, Zack is directing, because he'd already signed on and had started, but I hear he's kind of under the thumb of Affleck and Jeff Johns now. They're
Well,
like in charge, and they're gonna
I
keep
looked
him
at
on
his
task.
upcoming projects. Zack Snyder is going to EP the majority of what's coming down the pipe, with the exception of I think with almost all of them. But on Wonder Woman, he's not directing. Even worse, he's writing it, and it's written
On Wonder Woman?
Yeah. At least according to Wikipedia, and who knows.
I don't. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to look at that.
And then he's directing the the Justice League.
Yeah, it's already in production. But like I said,
And that's the thing. I don't mind him executive producing.
No.
Because
he's a great visual guy.
right. His I mean, let's face it, say what you want about Watchmen. I don't hate Watchmen.
No.
You know, I don't hate it at all. But he's like, I hate to say this, dear God, Michael Bay. He can do some spectacular visuals. His downfall is he cannot fucking tell a story properly.
Right.
Now, I think in Watchmen he got lucky because he had such strong material that was so iconic he couldn't indulge his, his quote unquote instincts and fuck it up too badly.
Yep.
Whereas with Justice League, he could do whatever he wants. He could have them fight the Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island,
Well, yeah, but no, because like I said, they wised up and they've got somebody at the helm now, like who's written a lot of really good stories. Jeff Johns. He was a writer for years and years and years.
You have to have a writer overseeing this shit.
Yes.
To call in, and in some cases, tell someone who is a genius in their own right, him.
Who?
Your Buffy friend.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. That you can't do that. Not because I don't like it, but because that will contradict something else we're going to be doing, and you have to add this in, even though you hate it, because we need that in there. And for some people, he's going to go, I'm out. And he already,
He was out. Yeah.
He's out. So, but we'll see. Now, one thing that I found interesting, the Enchantress tried to turn them at the end with, everything they ever wanted.
Yes, I know what you mean.
And, we got Deadshot with his wife and kids, and El Diablo, they're not dead. They're back. Everything's fine. Everything's dandy. And we get Harley.
Yep.
Really dressed, looking very, very Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Very unattractive to me. Just doing the domestic thing with the kid. And we see Jared Leto as completely normal Jared Leto.
Yeah.
And that bothers me on two levels. One, why the fuck would you show your Psycho out of Psychoville, out of his look? That struck me as a bad note. Maybe that's just me. But the other thing is, what does that say about Harley? She's supposed to be crazy. She's supposed to be, and that was the most 1950s Leave It to Beaver bullshit I'd ever seen in my life. So are we going to use that as a character thing where she's crazy, but there's a center to her? And we saw her in her reactions to certain things where, like, she didn't laugh and go, ha. She was just like, yeah. I'm like, all right, so maybe she's wacky, but she's not crazy.
No, yes and no. She is crazy, but she's still a person. And I thought that was really interesting and really bold. I mean, it shows what she really wants out of life is she wants to be normal, but she's not, and she can't be. And, but by her actions, you see that she understands that, because she goes up and says, okay, I want it. I'm in. Give it to me. No, I'm going to cut your heart out. She realizes she's not ever going to get that, so she went along with it just as
my problem with that particular little scene in there is the cut to the sword on the floor. Did not need to see that. It broke the tension, and it already told us what we were going to get in 1 second. What? Harley came up with a knife out of nowhere and cut out her heart? I can't believe that. We needed to have seen the sword on the floor that she was going to grab.
Yeah.
That was bad editing. That was bad storytelling, in my opinion.
I agree. Because you telegraph.
Right. Now, what I would like to see come up, and I've heard rumors that they're thinking about it, is that the Joker and Harley are going to do a TV spin-off called the Harley and Joker Puddin Fun Time Hour. And guess who their first guest star is going to be?
Who?
They're going to bring on...
Medication time.
We ran out of time. I will tell you next week.
The 9 Billion Names of Pod was conceived, written, and performed by Michael Reed and Dan Bauman, with Abdul Beni Hassan as the sound of splintering wood. Research, transportation, and exasperated looks by Courtney Lohner. Technical assistance by Cubase, Pro Tools, Skynet, QLab, Deep Thought, Big Brother, and Eddie, your shipboard computer. Financial consideration provided by the Wayne Foundation, Stark Industries, the Piranha Brothers, and LexCorp. Legal counsel by the offices of Howard and Fine. You know what they say about the crazy ones, right? Our intro music was written by Tim Akers. This podcast is sponsored by Deep Shag Records and is a production of Audio Primate. Throw us a couple stars on iTunes, why don't you? Check us out on dadsgarageradio.net. Listen, watch on YouTube. Listen on SoundCloud. Stream us on Stitcher. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Or email us, comlink@billionpod.com. Until this happens again, I'm Dan Bowen.
I'm Michael Reed.
LOZ.
Audio Primate.